So, today we are diving into an explainer of a case that has absolutely baffled investigators and true crime followers for over a decade. The incredibly unsettling 2013 disappearance of a 19-year-old college student named Bryce Laspisa. It's one of those stories packed with bizarre clues, agonizing delays, and an ending that, well, offers literally zero closure.
Let's just start with the really jarring premise of all this. Imagine a totally routine drive home. A young guy heading down the California coast to see his parents, right? A trip that should take less than a day. But instead, it abruptly ends with a shattered, abandoned vehicle at the bottom of a 25-foot embankment. And the driver just completely vanished into the night.
Where is Bryce Laspisa? That's the central, enduring question we're going to try to unpack today. By meticulously combing through the facts, the incredibly strange timeline he left behind, and the evidence compiled from multiple investigations, we're going to reconstruct his final known hours. The clues are all there, but the conclusion? Well, it remains totally elusive.
Section 1. A promising start. Life before August 2013.
To really understand this mystery, we first need to look at who Bryce was before that fall semester. He was a talented, well-adjusted 19-year-old. Born in Illinois, his parents, Karen and Michael, eventually moved the family to Laguna Niguel, California. Bryce went north to attend Sierra College as a graphic and industrial design sophomore, and by all accounts, he was charismatic, funny, and deeply, deeply loved his family. He had a recognizable Taurus Bowl tattoo on his left shoulder, a solid core group of friends, and honestly, he seemed genuinely excited to start his second year of college.
Section 2. The Sudden Shift. Late August 2013.
But then, just a couple weeks before classes resumed, a dark and totally inexplicable cloud seemed to settle over Bryce. The juxtaposition between his normal, everyday life and this new, highly concerning behavior is just staggering. Out of nowhere, Bryce began abusing Vyvanse, a prescription ADHD medication he definitely did not need, just to stay up playing video games. He started drinking heavily too, putting away as much as 2/5 of hard liquor in a single weekend. And, in a matter of days, he broke up with his girlfriend, Kim, via text, telling her she'd be better off without him. He even bizarrely started giving away his most prized possessions, like his Xbox and a pair of his mother's diamond earrings. I mean, huge red flags, right?
And then there's this eerie text message he sent to his roommate, Sean, right before he left the area. "I love you, bro. Seriously. You are the best person I've ever met. You saved my soul." It reads exactly like a final goodbye, doesn't it? His friends and his girlfriend were so alarmed by all this that they actually took his car keys away for a bit. But Bryce managed to assure everyone, including his mother over the phone, that he was totally fine, he just needed to drive home to talk to her.
Section 3. The Baffling Delay. The Long Drive Down I-5.
Now this is where a simple 500-mile drive down the I-5 turns into an agonizingly protracted ordeal. Watch the incredibly slow tick of the clock here. He leaves his girlfriend's place late at night around 11:30 p.m. By 9 a.m. the next morning, he runs out of gas in Buttonwillow, California. A roadside mechanic named Christian delivers him 3 gallons of gas. But Bryce doesn't leave. By 6 p.m., his terrified parents file a missing persons report, which prompts the police to ping his phone and check on him. Even after the cops explicitly tell him to go home, he just lingers. Finally, at 2:08 a.m., he calls his mom, tells her he's too tired to keep driving, and says he's pulling over to sleep.
So, the most crucial point to take away from that timeline is the number 20. Bryce inexplicably spent nearly 20 hours just sitting inside his car in the Buttonwillow area. Let that sink in. Despite having a full tank of gas delivered to him, and despite both the mechanic and the police interacting with him and urging him to just drive to his parents' house, he literally just sat there on the side of the road for almost an entire day.
And adding to the sheer confusion of that massive delay, when Kern County deputies performed their wellness check and a field sobriety test on him, he passed with flying colors. The deputies reported 0 signs of impairment or distress, none. He was polite, talkative, perfectly lucid. They even searched his car and found absolutely no drugs or alcohol. To law enforcement, he just looked like a normal college kid blowing off some steam.
Section 4. The Castaic Lake Crash, August 30, 2013.
Just hours after he told his mom he was going to sleep, security cameras caught his car driving toward a recreation area at Castaic Lake. At around 5:30 a.m., his 2003 Toyota Highlander was discovered on its side at the bottom of a 25-foot embankment. But the clues left behind are completely baffling. The rear window was shattered from the inside.
His wallet, phone, and laptop were all left right there in the car. His duffel bag was found sitting outside nearby. And while there was a little blood on the seats, there was no evidence whatsoever of a life-threatening injury. This scene paints a really vivid picture of someone who survived a deliberate crash, broke his own window, and just climbed out.
While we analyze all these physical clues, we have to remember the profound human element of this case. At 8 a.m. that morning, the doorbell rang at the Laspisa home. His parents, Karen and Michael, opened the door fully expecting to see Bryce standing there. Instead, they were greeted by a highway patrol officer, delivering news that plunged them into a nightmare they're still living today.
Section 5. The Enduring Mystery. Where did Bryce go?
So what actually happened after Bryce climbed out of that shattered SUV? A massive search operation kicked off. Helicopters, divers, ATVs, the whole shebang. But the most compelling piece of evidence actually surfaced 9 days later. Bloodhounds managed to catch Bryce's scent right at the vehicle's wreckage. They tracked his exact path across a nearby dam, heading south. But then, the trail abruptly ended at a truck stop on Castaic Road. The scent just completely vanished.
To stay totally impartial here, we really have to look at the 3 prevailing hypotheses investigated by the authorities and discussed by his family, keeping in mind that none of these have been definitively proven. Theory number 1, voluntary disappearance. The fact that he left his phone and ID behind, combined with the scent ending at a truck stop, suggests he might have hitched a ride to start new life. Theory 2 is suicide. Investigators did note that the vehicle acceleration seemed deliberate, perhaps driven by his erratic drug behavior, though crucially, no body was ever recovered from the lake. And Theory 3, head injury and amnesia. His family and a private investigator theorized that the crash impact caused a severe head trauma, leaving Bryce wandering, completely disoriented and unaware of his own identity.
Over a decade later, and the search is still ongoing. Extensive sonar mapping of the really deep waters of Castaic Lake yielded absolutely nothing. His dental records, DNA, and fingerprints have all been entered into nationwide databases. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children even released age-progressed photos to show what Bryce might look like at age 29. And yet, despite all of this advanced technology and countless tips pouring in, no physical trace of Bryce has ever been verified. We're going to leave you with this final, truly haunting question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. Did Bryce Laspisa intentionally walk away from his life that dark morning, stepping into a truck to disappear forever? Or does the unforgiving terrain around Castaic Lake still hold the tragic answer? The clues are all laid out, but that final piece of the puzzle? It's still missing.